They zip-tied my teenage daughter for wearing leggings, no arrest, no warrant, just Sharon Withers and her fake HOA security patrol. She called it community protection. I called it what it really was, kidnapping. What Sharon didn't know, I'm the attorney general of this state. And when I saw the files, she kept on children, mothers, neighbors, even toddlers drawing chalk hearts on driveways. I didn't just get angry. I declared war. What we uncovered next. Illegale surveillance. Secret code names. A fantasy militia funded by HOA dues. And the best part? Sharon never saw it coming. Friday, 5:37 p.m. The sun was melting behind the rooftops of Eastfield Hollow, casting warm amber light across manicured lawns and faux cobblestone sidewalks. My daughter Ava, 16, bright, focused, respectful, stepped off the neighborhood shuttle with her ballet duffel slung over one shoulder. Her cheeks were still pink from bar drills. She wore her practice clothes, a gray zip-up hoodie, black leggings, soft canvas shoes. Nothing flashy, nothing even remotely inappropriate. Just a tired kid walking home. Then came the tires. A loud screech on concrete. A black golf cart veered sharply onto the walkway, cutting her off like it was a checkpoint in a war zone. 3 figures hopped out wearing dark polo shirts that screamed "Try hard." Their shirts read HOA security, though anyone with 2 working brain cells could tell these weren't real officers. No bikes, no names, just duct-taped walkie-talkies and clipboards wielded like weapons. "Stop right there," barked the tallest one. Ava froze, blinking in confusion. "Excuse me, where are you headed?" he demanded, stepping into her space. "My house. I live on Oak Ridge Lane." Another man circled behind her. The woman in the trio raised a phone and snapped a photo. Ava hugged her duffel close. "That outfit," the woman sneered. "Short blonde bob. Sunglasses at dusk. A smirk too practiced to be anything but deliberate. That violates HOA Regulation 22B. Form-fitting attire with visible seam outlines in communal areas after 5:30 p.m. is expressly prohibited." Ava blinked. "What?" The woman's name was Sharon Withers, HOA, president and self-appointed gatekeeper of neighborhood decency. She tilted her head and smiled like a cobra. "Sweetheart, you may not realize it, but leggings send a message. They're a visual disruption, and we can't have that in Eastfield Hollow." "I'm just walking home," Ava said, stepping back. Sharon snapped her fingers. Protocol gold. Non-compliant minor. Immediate containment. Before Ava could react, the 2 men seized her arms. "Hey, let go of me." They yanked the bag from her shoulder, threw it aside, zip-tied her wrists like she was a criminal, and dragged her toward the back of the cart. She stumbled, her ballet shoes scraping pavement. Neighbors peeked through blinds. One man raised a phone, but never pressed record. "Call my dad," Ava shouted, tears breaking through her voice. "You can't do this." Sharon leaned in close. "Oh, honey," she whispered, "when you dress like that, your rights become negotiable." They shoved her into the back of the golf cart, locked the gate, and drove off like they were returning from a successful raid. That's when my phone rang. By the second ring, I was already in the car. And I swear to God, Sharon had no idea whose daughter she had just touched. I didn't drive. I surged down Oak Ridge like a damn rocket engine howling, every red light a dare. My knuckles went bone white against the steering wheel. My daughter, zip-tied, manhandled, Bihoa Gotblay cowboy. And Sharon Withers? She was behind it all. I hit the HOA Community Operations Center in under 4 minutes. The building sat tucked behind faux brick facades, pretending to be official. The sign was peeling. First, I saw the golf cart parked out front like a war trophy. Then I saw her, Ava, sitting on the sidewalk, wrists red and raw, her mascara streaked down her cheeks. Her duffel spilled beside her. When she looked up and saw me, her face broke. "Dad!" I dropped to my knees. "Are you okay? Did they hurt you?" She shook her head. "They tied me up," she whispered, "for what I was wearing." My jaw locked. My chest burned. And then, well, came a voice behind me. "You must be the father." Sharon Withers stepped out like she was performing in a morality play. Clipboard in hand. Lipstick too bright. Smile too smug. I stood slowly. Untie her. Now. She blinked, not expecting resistance. She's already been processed, Sharon said, flipping through her clipboard. We were just waiting for Guardian to discuss next steps. You assaulted a minor, I growled. There are no next steps. There's only legal fallout. Oh, please, she said, waving a hand. Nobody laid a finger on her. We followed regulation. It was passed last month. HOA board approved. She's 16. You detained her, photographed her, restrained her, all without contacting her parents. You think that'll hold up in court? Sharon sniffed. Eastfield Hollow is a private community. We have autonomy. I pulled out my wallet and flipped my badge. And I'm the attorney general of this private community. Her face twitched. Her clipboard lowered a half-inch. I stepped forward. You zip-tied the daughter of a man who signs prosecutorial warrants with one pen and buries tyrants with the other. She tried to recover. You should have taught her to dress more appropriately. That did it. I closed the distance. Say one more word about my daughter, I hissed, and your name will be on every civil rights lawsuit this state sees for the next decade. Her smile slipped. I turned back to Ava, gently cutting the zip ties with the multi-tool on my keychain. Her wrists were raw. I helped her up. Sharon cleared her throat. This feels unnecessarily escalated. You haven't seen escalation yet. I looked at her one last time. You picked the wrong girl, Sharon, and the worst possible father. That night, I didn't sleep. I filed the emergency motion by 9:46 p.m. By 10:15, it was approved. By 10:57, I was back this time with 2 legal aides, a deputy clerk, and a signed digital warrant. We didn't knock. Sharon was at her desk, red power blazer and all, sipping from a mug that read, "Not today, chaos." Back so soon, she smirked. Does your daughter want an apology card? I dropped the warrant onto her desk. No, but you're going to need a lawyer. She blinked. This is overreach. What you did today was kidnapping. My aide began copying their servers. I went straight to the cabinet labeled Civic Integrity Logs. Inside, folders. Dozens. Color-coded. Names of minors. Ava's file had a photo, timestamps, behavioral concerns, and notes like visual disruption, seam alignment. I flipped through more files on residents, mothers, neighbors. Annotated images. Circled body parts. Notes like, skirt hem 2 inches above HOA threshold. You cataloged them, I muttered. Teenagers. Like contraband. They were violations, Sharon said calmly. Our standards must be preserved. No, I said, turning to her. What you built wasn't safety. It was a surveillance cult. She folded her arms. Someone has to maintain order. I stepped close. You built a perversion machine. The next day, the emergency town hall was packed. Whispered rumors danced through the folding chairs. She zip-tied the AG's daughter. Sharon had files on kids. I sat up front, Ava beside me, her wrists still red. Sharon entered in red blazer, sharp enough to cut, smile wide enough to blind. Good evening, Eastfield, she said sweetly. Let's realign our community values. I stood. You mean the values where children get detained for leggings? The room hushed. You stalked my daughter, I said, and you had files on dozens of residents. You circled photos of their bodies and labeled them disruptions. She tried to interrupt. I turned to the AV team. Roll it. The projector came alive. Footage. Grainy. Disturbing. A girl playing jump rope, midriff visible. A woman watering plant. Sharon's voice behind the lens. Document again. Phase 2 begins next week. Gasps. That's my backyard, someone shouted. These were safety audits. Sharon screamed. Then why were they labeled behavior correction? You don't understand, she snapped. We needed structure. People don't respect boundaries anymore. No, you don't. A woman stood up. She made me repaint my house 3 times. Another man added, she fined me for wind chimes. Sharon was unraveling. And when Mrs. Patel, the longtime treasurer, walked forward, holding a flash drive, and whispered, I quit and I kept copies, Sharon's mask shattered. In the courtroom, she strutted in like a reality show contestant. White blazer, oversized sunglasses, a glittered binder titled Freedom Through Order. She represented herself. Bad idea. The prosecution laid it all out. Surveillance, zip ties, financial fraud. Sharon responded with slides. Leggings and the decline of Western morality. The judge stopped her mid-sentence. This isn't a TED Talk, MS. Withers. Sharon snapped, pointing at Ava. Her daughter wore spandex in public. She wore ballet clothes. I replied, and you restrained her. Sharon jabbed a finger. That's why we need stricter enforcement. The judge banged the gavel. Order. Sharon screamed. I'm the backbone of Eastfield. No, I said. You were the cage. In the end, the judge read the verdict without looking up. Guilty on all counts. Sharon tried to protest, but the room had stopped listening. 2 weeks later, she clocked in at the county sheriff's department, orange vest, trash picker, no clipboard, no sunglasses, no power, just a name on a timesheet. And back in Eastfield, we celebrated. Kids played in neon. Ava danced freely again. Dogs ran unleashed. Someone even painted their house lavender. No suggestions, just freedom. And Sharon? She walked the sidewalks she once ruled, now picking up candy wrappers and bottle caps. She wasn't gone, but she was finished. Because justice doesn't always arrive in sirens or shackles. Sometimes it wears a vest, carries a trash bag, and walks quietly right past the empire it just dismantled.